What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house one more again. I know y'all like, dang, I ain't seen this dude in like a month, and then he coming back. I see him all the time. He all over the place. Look, man, a lot of stuff been jumping off in the NFL, man. Gotta get back in the swing of it. And the draft gonna be coming up in about a month, and a lot of things, a lot of movement. There's a lot of moving and shaking, a lot of stuff going on leading up to that, and trying to get myself getting back into it because it's things almost a 24 hour 365 hour day thing. It just kind of is. But go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of Uncle Fred's Sports Experience. Guarantee you will not be disappointed. Let's just get right into it. So on yesterday, man, the blockbuster trade came down, and it just knocked everybody's socks off, man. And it kind of pulled the rug out from under another blockbuster signing or whatever. So let's just talk about it. So we know the news, and I didn't see this coming. If you said you seen it coming, you lying. You didn't see it coming. I ain't seen it coming, but we heard it all. Russell Wilson leaving the Seattle Seahawks, going to the Denver Broncos. Yeah, I didn't stutter. The Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks for the past 10 years, 9 Pro Bowl, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl title in 13, and going to the Denver Broncos. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought too. And let's see the particulars here. So we see Denver, they get Russell Wilson, and they also get a 4th round pick of the Seahawks. The Seahawks get they get 4 picks. Okay, they get quarterback Drew Lock. They get tight end Noah Fant. Ooh, good tight end too. Defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and then they get 2 firsts, a first this year and a second this year. I think the first is like 16, the second is like 43 or something like that. And then next year they get a first and a second. Okay. So they get 3 players, 3 starters. Which I don't know if Drew Lock will be a starter for them, and then they get Noah Fant. That's the big one, because I read somewhere Noah Fant, when he heard that they were getting Russell Wilson, he was like, "Ooh, I'm getting me a quarterback." And we didn't had Brock Osweiler, we didn't had Trevor Siemian, we didn't had what's the dude's name? They had a wide receiver playing quarterback. You had Teddy Bridgewater. You had all kind of different quarterbacks come in and do that thing, and Paxton Lynch. You had a bunch of guys come in and call. As a matter of fact, since Peyton Manning signed off from them in 2015 after winning Super Bowl 50 and riding off into the sunset, they've had 11 starting quarterbacks, most than anybody in the NFL. Okay, so when you got skill position players like they've got, the late Demaryius Thomas, who just passed, and then you got guys like they got now with Judy, Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutherland, and KJ Hamler. You got some weapons. Then they had Noah Fant. Noah Fant was like, "Ooh, we got some quarterback," and they found out he was going to the Seahawks. So dang, I'm going with Drew Lock. I'm going with the bad quarterback. So we get 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 3 players for Russell Wilson. So what does it mean for both teams? Well, for the Broncos, it means they got a number 2 scoring defense, and number 3 yardage defense. I think I may have that backwards, but let's just get it straight. They got a great defense, all right, and they got weapons. Good offensive line, wide receivers. I just named them. They can probably have to find them a tight end, a suitable tight end. And then they had running back JaVale Williams. And then they got Melvin Gordon if he resigns back. I'm not sure if his contract is up or not. So there's weapons all across. And then they got an offensive-minded head coach and Nathaniel Hackett, Nate Hackett, okay, son of Paul Hackett. Offensive, I won't call him a mastermind. I'm not gonna call him a genius. He's a mastermind. He studied under Bill Walsh. Yeah, right there, West Coast. But he runs a lot of the he runs a lot of creative plays. Is all I'm going to say. A lot of creative plays and stuff. So it's going to be interesting. You got a quarterback that can make throws, that's accurate, that's mobile, that's smart, that's clutch, can make all the throws. Man, Denver is going to be a problem in the AFC, and that just makes that division probably the best division in the NFL. Now, used to be an NFC West. Now it's going to be the NFC West because what they've done, you strengthen the AFC West, and you weaken the NFC West because now you've taken Russell Wilson out of that, and then of course we know that Jimmy G's probably leaving San Francisco, so that's going to take San Francisco down a peg. So that's going to bring the NFC West down a couple of pegs. So you're going to have the Rams, and who knows what the Cardinals are going to do because they got problems with Murray. So we don't know what's going to happen with that, but we know the Rams are Super Bowl champs right now, and they pretty much bringing a lot of their players back. But I've been hearing that the Broncos also got like $35 million in cap room. Because at some point they got to pay Russell, a year or two. They got to pay him. But right now, they got cap room. They could possibly bring Von Miller back. Okay. I hear Bobby Wags is on the, got cut or got released from the Seahawks. So, the defense could get stronger. There's tight ends that they could get. There's OJ Howard. There's other guys out there. Our guy from the Cowboys, Dalton Schultz, is probably going to be available. His contract is up, and they got money to spend. We trying to get him to take a pay cut. Okay, so there's tight ends out there to be had. And they got money, and they ready to win right now. For the Seahawks, don't cry for the Seahawks because it looks like they win. But you do know they can flip them 2 first-round picks for a quarterback. Okay, so don't think that they couldn't take those 2. Because remember, they didn't have a first-round pick this year because they gave that first-round pick up so they could get Jamal Adams. I'm sorry. So they didn't have a first-round pick this year. So now they got 2. They got they got one. They got one the following year too. And then they got 2. They got 2 twos also. But they can package them 2 number 1s and a number 2, and to Houston say, let me holler at your boy. Let me holler at your boy. And Deshaun. Let me holler at your boys, Deshaun. Let's see what he got, or maybe we can give you both these number 2s and maybe a couple of players, and we make a deal. So, I mean, it ain't all about them drafting the quarterback. This is not a good quarterback draft, okay? So, or they could wait, and next year they could give 2 firsts and a second next year for a quarterback, next year, So, I mean, because they'll have first round next year, their own first round next year, and then their number 2 and the Broncos number 2, so it's a lot of things that they can do. Seattle can do, and John Schneider and Pete Carroll, they're gonna figure out something. And I had said on many of my videos, I thought that relationship was over with. It just seemed like it had run its course. That thing was running at its peak when Russell was there, and you had the Legion of Boom, you had Cliff Averill, Michael Bennett, you had Cam Chancellor, Thomas, Richard Sherman. You had all those guys back there, Bobby Wags. You had all them guys. And so when them guys started leaving, Cliff Averill left. Michael Bennett left. Richard Sherman left. Cam Chancellor retired. And Thomas, gave them the double birds, and he left. All them guys left, and what you had left? You didn't really have anything, So, and then Russell was cooking, but it didn't cook like it was supposed to. So I just thought that it was like some philosophical differences. I think Russ wanted a more wide open offense, where Pete Carroll wants to run the ball conventional. Run it, pass only on third downs and that sort of thing. And I thought it had just ran its course, man. So now Pete Carroll, but I thought it's kind of weird they would keep Pete Carroll at 71 and let go of Russell Wilson at 33. Because I wouldn't think Pete Carroll would be up for a rebuild, but maybe it won't take long because they got draft picks. They got a bunch of draft picks. So, but man, that was a blockbuster. That might be the biggest trade since Herschel Walker for a bunch of draft picks for the Cowboys and the Vikings back in 1989, 90. Yeah, 90, I think. So, yeah, maybe 89. I think it might be 89. I think that might be the biggest trade since then. But, yeah, so, man, like I said, so now you got a division now that has Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, Derek Carr, and Denver Broncos are poised to make the playoffs. So can you see a scenario where all four of those teams make the playoffs? Can you see that? The Raiders got a new coach with Josh McDaniel, bringing the GM from New England and some of the offensive play callers and stuff from New England, and Derek Carr, and they got some weapons and stuff, and Jacobs and stuff. So Denver's gonna be. You got to believe Justin Herbert's gonna get the Chargers back. With Staley, the coach, and stuff doing. Brandon Staley, the coach. They're gonna come. And I just heard Mike Williams is signed for 5 years, $60 million. They got him signed. So they're gonna have him and Keenan Allen and all the guys probably coming back. So that's gonna be you talking about a division. The AFC just got stronger, man. I think the NFC is wide open for anybody to have it right now. So that right there is a big deal, and that deal right there was so big it overshadowed Aaron Rodgers signing back 4 years, $200 million, $50 million a year. 130 some odd million guaranteed. So that overshadowed that, and so all that hand wringing and stuff is going on. So we're gonna see what happens with that. But Aaron Rodgers, he got his money. He got his money. So a lot of people saying, well, now they got to admit they made a mistake. Now they drafted Jordan. I'm like, that's not a mistake. You guys are dummies, man. That's not a mistake. Why is it a mistake? And understand this: the last 2 years before they drafted Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers had subpar seasons, missed the playoffs, and got hurt, and it was like 34 years old or whatever, and so yeah, you draft you a quarterback, And I'm not saying the guy's career is over, but you got to prepare for the next era. I mean, that's just what it goes. Only Aaron Rodgers gonna make a thing about it and go all about it and get all on social media about it. All this extra stuff that he's got. So now I guess they'll just trade Jordan Love. I said, you'd be a fool to trade Jordan Love because this guy. He's not going to play all 4 of them seasons. I guarantee he won't. He's going to play 2 seasons and probably retire. And you'll have to figure out. And then you're going to start from scratch for a quarterback? Well, at least you'll have one already in your system. You've been grooming for a couple of years. I mean, that's kind of how the thing works. That's how you got your job, Aaron. They didn't need a quarterback when they drafted you. They had Brett Favre. Had him for about 2-3 more seasons. You wouldn't have your job if they didn't do it that way. That's how the Packers operate. A lot of teams operate that way. They got one eye on the now and another eye on the future. Okay? Because they know that as an executive, my career span is longer than that of a player's. I can't just go for the era in which an NFL player might play 10 years. That's it. NFL executive might be in his place 20 years. If he do his job right, 30 years and retire. Okay? It's not a job that's got nothing to do with your physical ability. So you can do it as long as you're effective. I can't put all my eggs in this basket. Next, in 2 years from now, we 2-15. Somebody getting fired. Okay, you got to keep doing the thing. It's like that's why I like college so much. Nick Saban got his eye on today's team, but he also got his eye on recruiting. Okay, always got his eye on the next guy, on the next Bryce Young, maybe Arch Manning. Okay, always got his eye on the next running back. Okay, on the next defensive stud. Okay, because that's how you keep the program going. You know. So all this foolishness is Aaron Rodgers talking. A lot of people talking about like, well, shoot, Aaron gonna do. Aaron gonna do what? He gonna do exactly what he been doing. He gonna make a lot of money, talk a lot of silly stuff, and lose in the playoff like he been doing. But at least them doing this deal allowed them, because he's gonna count like $46 million against the cap now. So now with the bonuses, the signing bonuses and stuff like that, you can turn a salary into a bonus, and this is where you can play with the money, and you can move that money down, and that allowed them to franchise tag Devontae Adams. I think it's going to be like $18-19 million he'll get, and then they'll figure out how to get why they work on them a long-term deal with him. So anyhow, so that I don't know what that means for them. I mean, a lot of people thought he might be going to Denver, because I would have liked that to go see what will happen there. But he stays in Green Bay in really a bad division. He's going to win every year because the Bears got a rookie second-year quarterback and Justin Fields coming back. You got a rookie head coach in Minnesota, and then you got you got the Detroit Lions. So I mean, you could really start Jordan Love and still win that division. He could take half the year off and they could still win it. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers signs $200 million, 4 years, which is essentially $50 million a year. He becomes the highest paid player in professional sports. And that's what he said he wanted. So I was like, all this stuff. And then see, the thing I don't like about Aaron Rodgers, and I don't make no bones about it. I love his talent. I love what he's on the football field. When I'm watching him play, man, I'm like, dang, he just put that thing in there. I see him do it. But then it's the other stuff. It's the word salads he be throwing together. Like what he should have said after this was over. They said, yeah, the deal signed. They go get it. He comes on the thing. Well, that's not exactly the deal I've signed. It's not done yet. Dude, shut the heck up. That's what I really want to tell him. Really want to tell him, man, another term, but that's not for YouTube. Because what he should have said is like, look, man, we had a lot of things going on this year, but finally we got a deal done. I'm happy to be back in Green Bay, happy for these fans, happy to be back in Titletown. And let's see if we can get us a championship, man. I'm happy to be back, man. Let's do it. Go Pack, go Pack, go. That's what he should have said. But instead of that, he's like, well, that wasn't exactly what they was reported. It's not exactly the same thing. Dude, it's a deal. It's a nickel off. Big deal. They got the generics of it, right? Stop it. He just gripes me, man. He just do. Say what you're supposed to say. Man, I'm just happy we got a deal done, and let's see if we can win some stuff, man. I'm just happy to be back in here. I didn't really want to go no place else. I'm happy to be back in Green Bay. Glad to be playing my games in Lambeau. Man, let's do this thing, man. Pack fans, man, let's do this thing, man. Go Pack, go. That's what he should have said. But instead, he doing him. He doing what Aaron Rodgers do. That's like, why he's not one of my favorite quarterbacks. So, but in terms of his play, ain't nobody better. Okay. But in terms of what he get done, look, man, I don't think if he didn't have the number one thing, the number one seed the last 2 years, and is 1-2 in the playoffs and didn't make the Super Bowl. Has not made a Super Bowl since back in 2010. Okay, and he's been 7-9 since then. A couple of first round exits. Okay. First round exit the next year after they won the Super Bowl to the Giants. You know that, right? Okay. First round exit that year, first round exit this year. Seems like he's a first round exit another year, too. The only two teams he's beaten is the Cowboys. He's beaten them twice. And the Rams with John Warford playing for an injured Jared Goff. And I can't think of, they beat the Giants when Odell Beckham and the receivers went to South Beach before the game. They won that game. But they really ain't won that many games, and they really haven't won that many games. I think they won 7. I have to think about what the other ones were. I think they beat Minnesota year before last. They play in the NFC Championship game against the 49ers. No, it wasn't Minnesota. Somebody that beat before they got it. I can't think of who it was. They beat. Oh, it was Seattle. It was Seattle. That's what it was. They beat Seattle. Okay. So we got that done. Now, then the deal that just got done today. Matter of fact, right before I went to work, I heard about this one today. Carson Wentz. So Jim Irsay was mad. Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard was mad in a mug after that tailspin that the coach did after the season. He was like, man, we can't do this. This can't happen. You knew then somebody's head was going to roll. And Carson Wentz, head got on the chopping block. So they made him available. Washington football team made him an offer they couldn't refuse. Offered him, I think, 2 third-round picks, I think. And they got Carson Wentz going to the Washington Commanders. Now, what's interesting is the Washington football team or the Washington Commanders offered the Seattle Seahawks 3 first-round picks for Russell. Now, either Russell didn't want to go there or Seattle didn't want to deal him to somebody within the conference. Maybe a little bit of both. Because Russell had a no trade clause. So he could only go because remember what was said in the offseason. I'm not asking for a trade as representation. We're not asking for a trade or nothing. We're happy here. But these are the set of the teams we go to if y'all were proposing a trade. We'd be okay with Chicago and I think Tennessee. I think it was a couple other teams. Chicago. I think maybe was the Jets one of them? Chicago, New York, New Orleans, I think was one of them. There was a few of them. So these are the teams I would be willing to play for. But yeah, so the Washington Commanders got their quarterbacks, got Carson Wentz. And so Carson Wentz, he 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but he played badly in the 2 losses at the end of the season, losing to the Raiders. And Indy, then going to Jacksonville and losing at the end of the season. Yeah, that's going to get somebody fired, But and so right now the Colts are looking for a quarterback. Might it be Jimmy Garoppolo? Might it be Mitch Trubisky? Okay. Might it be Kirk Cousins? These are some of the quarterbacks that is possibly going to get moved in the next, few days or whatever. And I'll try to be here to tell you about those things. But Carson Wentz, so he's got good, decent offensive line. He's got a great defense. Now, they didn't play up their potential last year, but that defensive line is good with Chase Young and Jonathan Williams and Han. And so you got all those guys playing, and then you got Montez Sweat, and so you got a defense, and then you got Terry McLaurin, Cam Sims, and you got some players. You got Antonio Gibson in the backfield, McKissick. I mean, so it's they got some players in there. The tight end's name is coming back. Logan, he coming back. Who's hurt this year? He's gonna be back. So as a Cowboy fan, Carson Wentz back in the NFC East. So that's something that's going to be an issue because Carson Wentz is not talented now. It's just that I think he rubs guys the wrong way in the locker room, and I think sometimes he takes chances. Sometimes reckless with his body and gets himself hurt a lot of times because he's a big old strapping guy. So he's a big old boy. But sometimes he takes chances, but he's oft injured. He gets injured a lot too now. So, we'll see how that goes. So we see Carson Wentz with the Washington Commanders, Russell Wilson with the Denver Broncos, and Aaron Rodgers staying put, $50 million a year, and it's just gonna get better. So let's just see where this thing go, man. Let's just see where this thing go. But yeah, this in the NFL, man. I'm telling you, man, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Gift that keeps on giving, even in the offseason. All right, a lot of moves still got to be made. Jimmy Garoppolo gonna end up somewhere. Kirk Cousins gonna end up somewhere, and so we're gonna see. And Mitch Trubisky gonna end up somewhere. So we're gonna see. So I'm thinking somebody gonna end up in Pittsburgh. Okay, and I don't know if they're gonna go with Mason Rudolph and what's the man's name from Ohio State? I don't think Dwayne Haskins. I don't think it's gonna be that. I think Garoppolo might be in Pittsburgh. Trubisky might be in Pittsburgh. Trubisky might be in New York if they move on from Danny Dimes, because you got to remember Trubisky was at Buffalo, Brian Daboll, then the GM, the assistant GM is the GM of the New York Giants. That could work. So we'll just kind of see. Garoppolo, he could be at Pittsburgh. Kirk Cousins could find himself in Indianapolis. We'll see. But I'll be right here for you. But anyway, that's all I got from the desk. Uncle Fred, please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. That's all I got for you today. Y'all be safe here and take care of yourselves. I'll catch you guys on the next one.